녹튜아가 무료 배포 중입니다. 레게노 신스예요. 연말 무료 중 역대급입니다. 힙합 R&B 만들 때 쓰기 좋은 사운드가 많아요. 사운드 디자인도 직관적으로 할 수 있습니다. 마스터버스 프로세싱과 매크로 FX도 내장되어 있어요. 간단하게 신스 디자인이 가능합니다. 100개의 풀셋도 포함이에요. 다운받는 부분 게리 프리를 눌러 받으면 됩니다.
Controls for velocity. We have controls for step linking so we can get some different grooves and pulses. Really handy for trailer lines and such. Semitone tuning and scent fine tuning. So this is really fun to mess with to get some different sort of movements and bends and accent moments within a sequence. It's a very subtle thing, but it's really useful. We also have ratcheting here, so we could ratchet certain steps to get something a bit more groovy and percussive. We have a chance control here, so we can have a probability of a certain step occurring. This is really cool for sequences that evolve over time, and this can be especially fun to vary with different sequences, having different chances, or maybe one sequencer that's very stable while the other two are more chaotic. And we have a panning control. So just with this alone, we can take the simple sub-oscillator and get a much more interesting sequence.
소프트튜브 믹스 솔루션 번들이 82% 할인 중입니다. 역대급 할인이에요. 불프보다 저렴합니다. 플러그인 5개 묶음이에요. 펌프, 딜레이, 세츄레이션 등 믹마할 때 쓰기 좋은 꿀템이 많습니다. 조작도 간단해 초보분들이 쓰기 좋아요. 직관적인 노브 조작으로 쉽고 빠른 믹싱이 가능합니다. 소프트튜브 연말 할인이 최대 87% 할인 중입니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
Shift set on bass keeps the compressor focused on low-mid material. Start with a slower compression setting with a long attack and auto for program-dependent release. The range knob allows us to dial in the maximum amount of decibel reduction we want to achieve so that we never overcompress. In the saturation circuit, let's dial up our amount and flip between two different saturation curves with the harmonic enhance button. Then turn up our tone shift more toward the treble. Parallel mix some of our dry signal back in on the saturator and compressor. Add some air. Tighten up the stereo width and set low frequencies to mono for a tight, punchy bass. To finish out our bus processing, let's add a second instance of the plugin. This time we will put the final polish on our drums with a fast attack and fast release just to keep our
UAD Essentials Edition이 83% 할인 중입니다. 플러그인 11개 묶음이에요. 하드웨어 제한 없이 누구나 사용 가능합니다. UAD 5인패 없어도 쓸 수 있어요. EQ, 컴프, 테이프, 딜레이 등이 들어있어 믹마할 때 레알 꿀입니다. 초보분들이 처음 시작할 때 쓰기 좋아요. UAD 제품이라 믿고 쓸만합니다. UAD 연말 할인이 최대 87% 할인 중입니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
Reach down, hold the sound.
Compressor in.
Tight.
Back off.
Smile once and then again.
And in.
Sweeter things are in the air. Happiness is everywhere.
Super transparent, just giving it some body. That's what makes a great compressor great. Unless you're going to use it as an effect where you smash the heck out of it and you make it pump and do all those things. Really, you just want to smooth out the peaks and valleys and give it a nice transparent sound. Maybe add a little bit of grit and warmth to the sound, and that's exactly what this LA2 is doing. Let's check out the vocal sound without the music in the background. First off, and then I'll turn it on. Here we go.
Reach down, hold the sound.
Now in.
Feel light, super tight.
Back out.
Smile once.
Listen again, you'll feel the body get bigger.
Sweeter things are in the air. Happiness is everywhere.
So it's adding a nice bit of warmth and body to the vocal, which is great, without any EQ. That's the compressor doing all of that. Now we're going to check out the LA2 on a bunch of background vocals.
사운드토이즈 이펙트 렉이 33% 할인 중입니다. 이펙트 종결자예요. 사운드토이즈 제품을 렉 형태로 사용할 수 있습니다. 디스토션, 필터, 펜시 등 곡 작업에 필요한 효과를 전부 할 수 있어요. 이펙터 조합으로 나만의 사운드도 만들 수 있습니다. 모든 장르에 사용 가능해요. 사운드토이즈 연말 할인이 최대 73% 할인 중입니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
So, without all that being said, when I was collaborating, it got me to thinking, how could I create basically a standalone version with just the effects rack, which I'll show you now. One of the other things that was kind of annoying about the effects rack, just when you're adding a plugin, is the name of it. It's just called Effect Rack. So you can see when I'm typing in, obviously there's a million things in my samples and effects and all that start with effect. So I have to type in Effect Rack or make a shortcut. What I want to be able to do is just go decapitator, and boom, there it is. And this is what I've done here. I'll show you, and then I'll show you how to create it. So what I've done is I've just created a rack that has just the decapitator in it. It's renamed that way. And then as you see here, I've assigned all the macros to the features I want to use the most in there. So let me just delete this, and I'll just show you real quick how I made these. And if you're lazy or you just want to have all these, I just started my Patreon. And
스마트 번들이 37% 할인 중입니다. AI 자동 미싱 끝판왕이에요. 믹마 초보분들이 처음에 쓰기 좋습니다. 악기에 걸고 버튼만 누르면 자동으로 미싱을 도와줘요. 해당 값을 변형하며 본인 곡에 알맞게 쓰면 레알 꿀입니다. 미싱 공부할 때 좋아요. 소니블 연말 할인이 최대 50% 할인 중입니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
Threshold. Here's the original again. How the audio is detected changes a bit if you choose mid or side. For instance, when I switch the plugin to size detection, you hear that the direct attack of the hi-hats get chewed off a bit. With mid, you get a much sharper attack. Now you will hear a kick and snare, but those are on the same hits as a hi-hat stroke. This plugin doesn't do unmixing, so you get the full audio spectrum when the gate opens. Here's a quick shootout with FabFilter Pro G.
컴플리트 14 스탠다드가 54% 할인 중입니다. 가상악기 종결자예요. 초보분들이 처음에 쓰기 좋은 사운드와 이펙터가 많이 들어있습니다. 기타, 베이스, 피아노, 드럼 등 곡 작업에 필요한 모든 악기가 포함됐어요. 컨탁7 풀 버전도 함께 있습니다. 힙합, R&B 작곡할 때 좋아요. NI 연말 할인이 최대 56% 할인 중입니다. 저렴할 때 득템하세요.
This is Complete Select. Smooth. And this is the cheapest way to get started with Complete 14, and you get enough to create full songs. Soul Sessions is one of the brand new instruments you get with Complete 14 Select. You can start a whole song with this.